Okay.
Welcome back, Sridhar and Dr. Mohan. We are now in.
Sridhar will compare this part of the program.
Thank you, Dr. Mohan. Good evening, everyone. So we are getting into an interesting segment of our IEEE CCM conference, Student Project Showcase. And this year, being a virtual conference, we have a lot of interest shown across India as well as from different countries. At least we have received papers from 3-4 other countries other than India, across India and as well as 2-3-4 countries. Today, we have total 6 papers selected. One of them is from Tokyo University of Technology, Japan. Before going to the first paper, I'd like to also announce that we have a Sustainable Development Goals Initiative from the CCEM launched this year. So I'd like to encourage each one of you to go to our website and start registering for it. It will give you an immense opportunity for all of you as the students to interact with other professionals and faculty to bring innovative ideas which will be sustainable development goals for not only India, across all other countries. So I encourage all of them to go to our website and register. So with that note, let's move on to student project showcase proposal. The first proposal from Tokyo University of Technology, Japan. We have Takamasa, Iijima, and Takayuki, Kushida. Thank you.
Sorry. Thank you for introducing. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
So
you have total 10 minutes, including question and answer.
Yes.
Yeah.
So okay, let's start. So thank you, Chairperson, to introduce my paper, and it is great honor to be able to speak you today. And please question to chat. Text will be helpful to me to understand questions. My name is Takamasa Iijima. Today, I'd like to talk about Unified Request ID assignment on microservices. Okay. Next. Here is the outline of my presentation. First, general issue in microservices. Second, current issue in microservices. Third, introduce our solution, which name I contact. Fourth, use cases in Kubernetes system. And last, conclusion. First, I like to start talking about the area that we're trying to solve. Here are a point of microservices advantages and disadvantages. We're trying to solve difficulty of root cause analysis. Here is major issue on root cause analysis. Microservices have many services are linking each other. When the system's down, we have to investigate log many times. In many cases, the service container provision 2 or more replicas to scale and replication. When systems down, we investigate all replicas logs, even the cause is 1 replica. Envoy is solution for microservices logging. We can get services log at once. Envoys can get which services was run command by IP. When we set scale services 2 or more, Kubernetes have limit of IP on same services. So when systems scale up and scale down repeatedly, log message IPs are redundant. So we create a sidecar proxy which named iContact. When services make, iContact generates container unique ID. We call it CUID and generates with UUID4. After that, assign CUID to containers, add CUID image and names to log messages. This method can track replica level logging. when containers scale up and down repeatedly, same IP attached to new containers sometimes. So this figure shows the flow of the time for the same services. In this case, these two containers, the same IP, same IP, but they are different containers. So iContact can identify each container using CUID includes scaled and replicas containers. So these software diagrams for use cases I'm going to explain. Each container have iContact and they send log data to database. So when the system's down or failure, operator have to investigate and which container is cause of failure and impact other services. In this use case, supports and alert occurs from the payment services at the bottom of the tables, you can see. And current solution, the left side, current solution is checking from IP and check request that services pass it. This case, the system alert on 10.10.11.2, we can find 2 logs of that IP. When we check the request ID of 2 log messages, there are 46BB and 7ADO, and check each request ID to clarify which other service affected on this request. There are 7 messages, but 46BB jobs successfully done, and different container. So because that container before scale again, so this 5 log message will produce unnecessary investigation. On the other hand, if alert from messages including CUID, we can track which container error using CUID. This case, we can find only one logs of that CUID and check each request ID. There are 2 logs and both of requests related to the alert. So it means the investigation is efficient. So I like to conclude my paper. iContact generate container unique ID and add to each container log messages. We can get traceability of the container level and including scaled and replicated containers. It means reduce the time to investigation root cause. Thank you for listening. Please for first question to the chat. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Any questions? Very interesting paper. Thank you, Takamasa. And first of all, thank you for joining your late hour. I know it is 10:30 or 10:40 p.m.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah. There is a question from Dr. Gopal Pingali. Was this implemented or tested?
Yes. I back to the slide. Implemented with for now. I implemented with the Python and Flask. Python used for generating UUID and Flask used for the sending to the database for sending database. And I have to evaluate these systems. I just testing for now, and I just test evaluate the how can I say how when I use my iContact, how delay from the how delay generated from the Envoy comparison from the Envoy. So I I will the test for in the future. Thank you. So what is this? And wait a moment.
I'll hand over mic to Dr. Gopal.
Yeah.
And wait a second, and maybe one more question here.
Yeah, we have a question. Yeah.
So what is the most sophisticated analysis?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I was just asking.
Yes.
Since it's all about root cause analysis and helping with root cause analysis in the wake of bringing down and spinning up containers.
Yes.
What is the most sophisticated use case you have tried it with, where you see there is difficulty in root cause analysis, and is there some metric in terms of how faster or better you could do it? I was just trying to see if you got to that point.
Thank you for question. I'm thinking of the question. Please wait a sec.
So this is Tak, and I'm also co-author of the this and project. So let me answer your question, Gopal. This is a method to enable and root cause analysis. So sophisticated and the most sophisticated in the root analysis and is it's kind of the server down or server failure. So once in the server failure, and then that's in the IP address and the reuse in the other and the continents. So that means in the same address is also assigned to the other continents. So that's and we are focusing on.
Got it. So at this stage, you have just shown that it works in that scenario. Thank you,
Yes.
Kushida-san.
Yes. Yeah, and we don't have an actual such a failure or the root cause in our lab, but we can test and simulate it and failure and the server down to get then the root cause analysis.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great to have you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So with that, thank you once again, Takamasa-san and Dr. Kushida-san. And we'll move on to the second paper. Our second paper is from GSSSIETW from Mysore. And we have the Tangamma, Sravya, Sahana, and Priyanka.
Yes, I am bringing up to the stage.
Yeah. Tangamma, Sravya, Sahana, and Priyanka.
Just a second. Tangamma is not in 18 days.
Okay. Sahana, Sravya, or Priyanka? Priyanka, why? Anyone, if you're there, please raise your hand. Actually, that was the instruction given, so that we can bring you onto the center stage.
Yeah, Shravya is there. I am bringing on to stage.
Yeah. Hi, Shravya.
Hello, sir. Just a minute. I'll be sharing my screen.
Yeah.
Sir, is my screen visible and am I audible?
Yes, please. Yeah, you had 10 minutes maximum, including question and answers. Please go ahead.
Okay. Good evening, one and all. I am Shravya, representing my team from GSSS Institute of Engineering and Technology for Women. And I'm here presenting my project on a supervised learning approach for the prediction of prices in different agricultural commodities. So these are the contents that I'll be briefing out in the presentation. That is the introduction, present system, proposed system with objectives, requirement specification, system architecture, data flow diagrams, methodology, application, conclusion, and references. So coming to the introduction, India is a country where the major source of living and economy is from the agriculture and the agricultural department and the agricultural based industries. The major problem that the agricultural department is facing nowadays is that with the prediction of prices for the changes in every day, since the prices of the commodities keeps varying day by day. So we have come up with a supervised learning technique that is used to develop a model which is capable of predicting prices based on inputting the values to the parameters. And this model can also be used by style planning. And the supervised learning technique that we have used is the KNN algorithm. So the present system that the agriculture departments are actually using is that they're manually calculating the parameter values and then trying to predict the prices of the agricultural commodity. So the proposed system that we are coming up is that we've developed a portal in which the users can be the agricultural department and the farmers. The agricultural department or the farmer logs in through the portal using their ID and the passwords that they get registered with. And the agricultural department is the one which is the major user of our portal, where they'll be giving the values or the parameter values, and then by choosing the crop, they'll be able to get the accurate price or the average price that can be set for the particular crop for the particular week or a date that can be chosen. And farmers, we need not enter the parameter values, since they don't have any knowledge about the parameter values. They just have to choose their location and the crop that they wish to know the price of. So the values of that particular commodity will be fetched from the agriculture department database that are updated automatically. So the objective is to provide an application which is efficient tool for price prediction, and also that ensures the effective comparison of previous year prices, and also to provide an user-friendly application. The software requirements are the operating system with Windows 7 Plus or XP, and for browsers that it can be anything like Google Chrome, Firefox, Internet Explorer, and any other browser. Framework that we have opted is the .NET, and the integrated development environment is a Visual Studio 2010 or higher version, and the front end is the ASP.NET, and programming language is C#.NET, and the back end is SQL Server. And the hardware requirements are basic requirements like a RAM with 2 GB and more, and processor Pentium 4 Plus, and processor speed of 2.4 gigahertz, and a hard disk capacity of 40 GB and more. So this is the system architecture that we developed. On inputting the raw data and weather statistics that we've collected, on data pre-processing this raw data, we'll get a data that can be trained, that can be used to train the algorithm. So once on training the algorithm, we apply the algorithm onto the data set that we have got. And after application of the algorithm to the particular data set, we get the price for the particular commodity or the crop that they've chosen for, and the results are presented on the web page. So these are some of the use case diagrams that we've developed for the admin. This is the use case diagram for the admin, and on the left is the use case diagram for the agricultural department. So these are the data flow diagrams. This is the context flow diagram at level 0, which shows the admin can maintain the entire project, whereas the agricultural department is one of the service receiver, which will be inputting the parameters and getting the value.
Sorry, I'm not seeing your screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, can you please share it once again?
Sure, sir. Just a minute. Sir, is it visible now?
Yeah, come in. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, can you go on, please?
Yeah, sure, sir. This is the context flow diagram, which shows the project is maintained by the admin, and the agricultural department is the major service receiver of the project, and the farmer can just have the basic accessibility of the crops and their prices. And this is the data flow diagram for the admin, which shows the various uses of various things that the admin can perform, functionalities of the your admin. And this is the data flow diagram that shows the flow of data between the agricultural department, the databases, and the web server. And similarly, this is the data flow diagram for the farmer. These are the sequence diagrams. So this one shows the sequence diagram for the admin, which shows the functionality of the admin. And this is the functionality of the agricultural department, where they can view homepage, update the data set, and they can also get the price prediction and update their profiles. And the functionality of the farmer is that they can view the homepage and choose the crop and the location. They can get the price predicted for the particular crop in a particular location. And so the methodology that we've used is the KNN algorithm, which is the K nearest neighbors, and which is the most basic algorithm in the supervised learning technique. The reasons for us to choose this KNN algorithm is that KNN algorithm is one of the lazy learners. That is, it doesn't require much time for training the data set. And also it works very well with the numerical data set, and the data set that we've got and we have chosen is the numerical data set. And so we thought this one is the apt for our project. And also once the parameter values are number of parameters are changed, it does not affect the accuracy of the algorithm. So this can be one of the added on advantage for choosing the KNN algorithm. So the diagram on the left.
Yeah, last 2 minutes or so. Can you quickly wrap up?
Yeah, sure, sir. So the diagram on the left shows that there are the various commodities with the previous prices, and these prices are efficiently compared using the algorithm. And then on application of the algorithm, we get the average prices of the particular commodities. And the applications, coming to the applications, like it can be used by the agricultural department for prediction of prices, and the farmers to know their crop prices so they can plan accordingly. And it can also be used by the users for their lifestyle planning. So these are the snapshots of the prototype that we have developed. So this is the home page where the user can log in or register. The users here are the agricultural department and the farmers. So the figure 2 is the agricultural information page, and the figure 3 is the farmer registration page. Once, if the farmer is a new user, they have to get registered and then use the portal. So the figure 4 is the login form, where we have to choose whether it is the admin, department, or the farmer types, and then log in accordingly. So the figure 5 shows the admin page, where the admin is the one who is responsible for adding the departments and maintaining the database of the departments. That is the agricultural departments. And the figure 6 shows the number of departments that the admin has added into the portal. And the figure 7 shows the training data sets that are included in the project. And the figure 8 shows the department crop price prediction. And the figure 9 shows the calculated accuracy. And this is figure 10 is the graphical representation of the project, and figure 11 is the price prediction of the farmer. And to conclude with, many uncertainties exist in the agricultural commodity market, and so this portal can help in suggesting the prices of the commodity in an easier way.
Yes, Shashi, you need to go on mute.
And these are the references. And thank you. And I'm open to questions.
Yeah, there are a lot of questions. Maybe, Shashi, can you bring Dr. Shubhu from Infosys?
Yeah, sure, sir.
My co-chair, actually, for student project showcase.
Okay.
Shashi? Actually, you had put a lot of screens. It is more of like a user interface, right? Not much on the data set and what exactly the outcome, those things were not come up clearly in your presentation. I think that is what the questions coming from Dr. Gopal as well as Dr. Subbu.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sir, I can show you the screenshots which has the training data set.
Yeah, I think that is very limited data set you have, right? How many? How much
Sir,
is the volume of the data set?
So training data set is of 500 records, and the actual data set that we have is of 1,500 records, sir. Here we have not included the original data set. Here only we just included the training data set in the screenshots.
Yeah. Usually, like for artificial neural networks are here, right? Whatever you use for neural network. Yeah, the size seems to be very less. Yeah.
Yes,
so,
okay.
What is the price accuracy? Can you compare with the whatever your model predicting? You are able to see the in reality and put comparative study. That is what Sai Sampath from IBM is asking. So, whatever outcome you are predicting.
We are actually trying on that, sir, to compare with the accuracies of the original prices and the prices that we have got here. It is coming up to 92% of the accuracy.
Okay. I think the suggestion
and
from
we
the
are
question.
coming.
Yeah. Thank you. The the whatever questions coming up and some of the sessions would be, I think you need to really evolve this model with more data sets and start comparing with the prices, the real prices and your prediction model and fine tuning further your model. So thank you very much, Sravya and team. So and thank you for that. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
We'll move on to the next paper. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. The next paper is TSC. In short, it is called Solitude Enhancer from Vikas, Susmit, and Chiranthan, and Ananya, and Sama Rahul, and one more, Diksha, from Ramaya Institute of Technology. Once again, Vikas, Chiranthan, Ananya, Soma Rahul, and Diksha Arora. I don't see our host, right? Sashi? Or we have anyone from AirMeet team to help on it? It is raining heavily. Probably we lost connection. Arun Raj? Yeah. Rajat, can you help? Dr. Rajat? Yeah. I think Sashi is giving message saying that some issue. Yeah. We'll give another minute or so. Shashi going to join back. He's trying.
Folks, I just wanted to share that there's some network problem for the host of our whole conference, Shashi, and we'll have to be a little patient. He's coming on board soon. Okay, Rajat will come and take over, and we'll wait patiently. Meanwhile, Sridhar can talk about this program and about the Sustainable Development Goals and what that the United Nations Development Program 2017 listed it out and all that. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Mohan. Yeah, if you see United Nations Development Program, UNDP, created a lot of sustainable development goals. It is not for just one country, right? For the entire world. They thought about we need to focus on the poverty, no poverty, zero hunger. These are the big goals for all the countries to get into sustainable development sort of thing. And healthcare is the one of important element in this pandemic times and other things, and education, quality education, and other important thing that is more suitable for India, a country as a country, is the farming, right? How well we can bring the technology like a cloud or IoT, big data, like some of the projects we are seeing today, to help to farmers, right? Just we saw one project, and healthcare, or how to solve the world hunger problem or poverty, how to improve the quality education. These are the things. Or one more other important thing is clean air and water and sanitization. So there are many sustainable development goals from UNDP, and CCM wants to take the center stage as one of the key initiative from sustainable development, SDG, Sustainable Development Goals, as one of the new initiative from this year. I encourage all the students and participants here, and not limited to the students, it will be professionals as well as the professors across the world can join this movement and help with the innovative ideas. As a collective wisdom, we can definitely give an impact to our local society as well as the country and the world as a sustainable development goals. So I encourage each one of you. I have posted onto our chart the links. Please go ahead and register. We'll form a tribe or community to focus on sustainable development, and it is going to be every year we'll focus on how we are progressing on the sustainable development from next episode, that is 10th year of our CCM conference. Thank you. Thanks, Dr. Mohan. Anything to add, Mohan, from your end?
Oh, I just wanted to share that Shashi is still trying to connect and he still lost connection. I think we need to do a few minutes of waiting. While we do the waiting, I just wanted to share that the purpose of the Student Project Showcase in the CCM conferences has always been to encourage students to do hands-on projects, to be able to learn from experience, and to be able to apply their problem-solving skills to the problem that they have taken, so that by the time they graduate out from undergrad school or so, they will be able to showcase something which is working to a certain degree, right? It's not that the whole thing has to work 100%. Same time, it's not something which is totally theoretical or vaporware or whatever. And the purpose of getting people to do this, putting their hands dirty into the code, into the IoT devices, into putting together, is to make them get realistic, to see what problem solving in the engineering world is all about, what engineers do as trade-offs, the kind of thinking, problem solving that they have to do to make the things work immediately, and then to be able to get to showcase this and take feedback from everybody. The key critical element that this platform offers is to take feedback, and based on the feedback, they will feel encouraged to be able to complete their work at hand. This is the basis for their motivation. We find there are a lot of engineers around in the world. Many of them are not really been able to apply their engineering skills to solve the problems at hand. And one of the biggest challenges that we have in the world right now is that we need to go and stand on our own legs, which is kind of bringing in a certain entrepreneurial flavor to the whole act. And Shashi is back. Are you there, Shashi? Okay. I think he's
Can you
kinda
hear
coming
me?
back. Yeah,
Yes.
I can hear you. All right. So let me take another 10 seconds to close this off. This impromptu speech. So the name of the game is for the students to know that they have to take up problems which are in their immediate vicinity and solve them. And the basis for that is the Sustainable Goals of the United Nations. On that note, Shashi. And
Shashi, yeah, Shashi, we have the authors raise their hand. Can you see them? Can you bring on to the stage? Diksha, Ananya, and Rahul. And Vikas also. Yeah. Shashi, can you bring them onto the stage? Oh.
all right. If students are there, they should do this problem solving. To why I ask, how should one have a reliable, always available connection for the host of typical virtual conferences?
Yeah, Shashi, can you bring the authors on the?
Yeah. Sorry, Sridhar sir, this is Arun Raj. So I'm getting in. So who should be brought in?
Yeah, they raised their hands. Diksha, Ananya, Rahul, and Vikas.
Okay, sure. I'm doing it. 1 second, sir.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, sir. Done.
Thank you.
What
Okay.
happened? They are not able to get it?
Yeah.
Because
We got it, everyone. Mohan, sir.
But I don't see only Vikas is there on the stage. He's also dropping, I think. Yeah, Sushmit.
Shushmit also accepted it. So
Yeah.
Okay, Sushmit, if you have your presentation, go ahead and do that job first.
You are on mute, Sushmit.
Yes, sir. Vikas will present, sir.
Okay. Can you bring Arun Vikas? Yeah, he's raised hand and dropping. I don't know. Yeah.
yeah,
he's-
1 second. Yes, I'm doing it.
Yeah, Vikas. I think at a time one person only it is allowing. That is
Yes,
the challenge.
yes. Okay, let me bring in Vikas once
Good
again.
evening, sir. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Diksha.
So, is it possible for us to present chance by chance because we divided it as a team?
Yes. That is what we are looking into. I don't know why it is dropping.
So there are two Vikas. Vikas is the one we need to bring in.
No, sir. Vixie M.
Okay,
I think
Vixie.
Vikas. Yes.
Okay, I'm getting him. Okay, kindly accept it, Vixie. Yep. I brought a Vixie because.
Okay, because start off. You need to save time.
Can you add Ananya too?
I think you should start off, then Ananya will come on board. Don't worry.
I'm bringing in.
Yeah. Meanwhile, you can start having your presentation ready to share.
Yep, Ananya, I saw.
Good evening.
Is the PPT visible?
Yes. You have 10 minutes. That includes the question and answer. Please.
Okay,
Go
sir.
ahead.
Thank you so much. We are from Ramaya Institute of Technology, and my name is Diksha Vora. My team members are Vikas M, Rahul S, Shivantan K, Sushmit Thulwa, and Ananya Kodkala. Our project name is the Solitude Enhancer. Our problem statement. The problem statement that we are dealing with is the issue in soil quality tracking. That is, the change in ambient conditions lead to less yield and loss to the farmers as our soil gets damaged on continuous basis. While countries like USA use satellites for assessing the soil and crop conditions, this is not feasible in a country with a large magnitude like India due to large number of small farmlands and local areas present. This is not very good for the soil quality because there are many small farmlands and they all have a different method in which the farmers treat their soil with. The common problems that the soil is facing in India are waterlogging, water inefficiency, and these are usually problems that are natural related to nature. But problems such as chlorine toxicity, nitrogen toxicity, excessive use of fertilizers, or wrong usage of fertilizers, or in fact even the underusage of fertilizers is really bad for soil quality. These are a few articles ranging from the years 2017 to 2019 that are trying to highlight on how India is on the verge of a looming soil crisis and how we are losing our topsoil fertility rate.
Coming to the proposed solution, in order to tackle these above-mentioned problems, we have come up with a solution in the form of a thumbtack-like structure called a solitude enhancer, as you can see on the top left corner. So it has many sensors like the color sensor, water, moisture, temperature, pressure sensor, and the color sensor is used to measure the NPK values of the soil. And we are the microcontrollers that we have used is the Arduino Uno. And then the first thing the farmer has to do is to place a thumbtack structure into the soil, and then the values are read from the sensors and transmitted from the Arduino to the cloud as well as to the mobile application. As you can see on the right top corner is a table showing different NPK's ratios for various crops. So using this information from the soil, we can recommend tailor-made fertilizers to the farmers so that it gives them a better yield. So coming to the working, as I said before, the data from the sensor is collected and transmitted to the cloud, where we can apply machine learning models and predict the solutions, and thus give a farmer better solutions to grow their crops.
Coming to the future scope of our application, a major part of soil fertility determination involves collecting weather data over a continuous period of time. So this would help us to make better predictions of weather that would be more localized to a particular area, like the farm where the thumbtack module of the TSC has been implemented. Secondly, the data on the soil quality would be informed to the nearby fertilizer shops directly. So this way, the farmer would have to just go to the fertilizer shop and he would get the custom tailor-made fertilizer for his crop and soil type. So this can help in preventing fertilizer overuse, underuse, and ensure that it's used in a more optimized manner. Next, the next future scope mainly talks about a large part of any research involves collection of data. So as part of the Solitude Enhancer, we collect a lot of data about soil. So going forward, if any research papers are going to be published on soil conditions, then they can utilize whatever data we have collected in order to reach the required conclusions. Lastly, as they say, if agriculture goes wrong, nothing else will have a chance to go right in our country. So our idea mainly aims to provide a much more, to improve the conditions of agriculture in our country, because at the end of the day, India is an agrarian country. So we aim to provide a strong soil, a strong base, a strong foundation to make our country reach greater heights. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Any questions for the team? Okay. There are two questions. Okay. Arun, can you bring Dr. Gopal Pingali?
Yeah, sure. Yes, Dr. Gopal Pingali is on stage.
Yeah. So very good work, very interesting device that you have built there. So it was not clear in the fast presentation. How many of these have you built? What data have you collected? What kind of prediction are you able to make at this point? What is the cost? So there's a bunch of questions about what you're able to do. Maybe very quickly you can answer. I put it on the question session also. One of you can answer, please.
We have just made one.
Sir, am I audible?
Yes. You made one prototype, okay?
It's still
what's the cost? What is it able to measure?
Hello, sir. Am I audible?
Yes.
Now you are. Yes.
Yes, sir. So we had actually built a basic prototype, which was extremely basic. We made it with a lot of reused items that were available at home, because before we could actually come up with our construction and costing, the lockdown got enforced and we all live in different cities. So it became really hard for us to meet up and actually design something conclusive as of now. But we did build a basic prototype and that did seem to work.
In the sense, so what did you measure? If you can just give us a sense of what you measured, how effective is it? Give us some sense of that.
So soil moisture content was measured.
Yeah, and the temperature as pressure as well. But we were only able to transmit it to the mobile application through a Bluetooth module. The cloud part, we are still working on it.
No, don't worry about the cloud part. I'm just trying to understand what you did. That's all. Okay,
that nitrogen,
thank you. That clarified.
Nitrogen,
Sorry,
potassium also you gathered the data, or NPK percentage you said were able to gather that information from your device?
Actually, the color sensor which we are using is not accurate enough. We are going forward. We'll be looking into more accurate sensors which can work with this.
Okay. So I think one more last question from Dr. KVS. So most crop prices depend also on the festivals, right? Demand. How is this taken into account? So your model, you're trying to. Oh, this is for earlier thing, right?
Yes, it's.
Yeah, I think it's okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thanks.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. Let's move on to the next paper. This is from PES University, Aditi and Mugdha from PES University.
Yeah, I will bring them onto stage.
Yeah.
Good evening, sir. Am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible, Aditi. Can you please bring your presentation?
So Mugdha will share it. She'll just come in a minute.
Yeah, sure.
Mugdha,
yeah, Mugdha is on stage now.
Good evening. Am I audible?
Yes. Please go ahead. You have 10 minutes.
Yes.
Yeah, maximum to cover including question and answers, please.
Is my screen visible?
Yes. Please go ahead. Yeah.
All right. Good evening to everyone present here. We will be speaking about our project extending YCSB-JSON for OLAP benchmarking Couchbase analytics. So we'll start our presentation with a little bit of a background. Analytics queries are run on large amounts of data, and they're used for discovering, interpreting, and communicating significant patterns in data. And nowadays we have no data in data. So these kind of queries are widely used and they need to be benchmarked. So one of the more popular open source benchmarking tools out there are the Yahoo Cloud Serving Benchmark, or YCSB for short. An interesting thing to note about YCSB is that the data that it generates to run the workload is completely randomized, and it looks like junk data, which poses the first major problem when it comes to benchmarking analytics queries. Moreover, modern databases now use JSON data, and YCSB cannot process JSON data. So we'll take a look at another software called YCSB-JSON. This was developed at Couchbase Labs, and it extends traditional YCSB. It also works really well alongside Fakeit and Memcache to generate realistic data, which is more suited for running analytics queries. Now, Couchbase is a document store database, the enterprise version of which also provides an analytics service. Now, the question we need to ask is YCSB-JSON adequate to run to benchmark analytics queries? Sadly, not yet. While our data problem may seem to have been solved, YCSB still lacks provision for workloads to actually run analytics queries, which is why we propose a solution to extend YCSB-JSON. We've created 10 new parameters that benchmark 10 different Couchbase analytics queries, ranging from quantifications, joins, grouping, lookup filters, and a few other workloads as well. These new workloads for analytics, they can be customized by setting values for the parameters that we've created.
So this is our approach. This is a brief of the YCSB-JSON architecture with the extended files marked in red. So once the workload config is loaded and the workload determined, it goes to the SOE workload file and the DB wrapper file, which is common to all databases. It then generates a predicate according to the query and interacts with the Couchbase client file using the Couchbase Java SDK. This is done for every single record. Finally, the measurements package prints the results consisting of the throughput, latency, and runtime. Challenges and constraints. So we were constrained to use a deprecated Couchbase Java SDK version 2.7.14 instead of the latest 3.0 in order to maintain compatibility with YCSB-JSON. One of our biggest constraints is the large load time needed for a significant number of records. To understand the cause of this issue, we learned how Memcached is integrated with Fakeit. The Fakeit generated data is written to Memcached, first the Couchbase bucket, and then YCSB-JSON read this data from Memcached. And finally, the currently benchmarked queries and their predicates too have been written based on the specified YAML model, which imposes some schema constraints. Future work. A more generalized schema. While there is some flexibility in the current schema, no doubt, a more generic schema would allow a greater range of queries to be benchmarked with fewer constraints. The insights obtained from this benchmarking can enable us to optimize the construction of Couchbase queries for maximal performance. And an especially interesting area which could benefit from insights of this sort is sharded join performance in a Couchbase cluster. Data from benchmarking performed on Couchbase cluster can help optimize sharded join performance. We will now play a demo video.
So this is the Couchbase web console interface. We have one bucket called administrator with 1,000 records. This bucket is on a 2-node cluster where each of the nodes are run as Docker containers. We will show a sample document, what every record looks like. This record has been generated using the Fakeit and according to a custom YAML. So an analytics query, we are running our analytics queries on 3 data sets that we've created on the basis of country names. We are going to show one sample query that demonstrates theta join in a moment. And these are the results that we got from that query. Now, I'm going to drop these data sets so that we can show you their creation when we run the workload of the theta join workload.
We will be showing a workload consisting of a theta join query. This is the workload file. The initial part of the file has credentials and IP addresses for the Couchbase cluster. We then have record and operation counts, and as we come down, we see the proportion of the analytics queries to be executed in the workload. These are the results showing the runtime in milliseconds, the throughput, that's the operations per second, and the average latency when 1,000 theta join queries are run. These datasets have been created using random countries to run the analytics queries. So these are the results. So these are the results obtained when benchmarking was performed across 8 threads on 2, 3, and 4 node containerized Couchbase clusters. This is the runtime graph measured in milliseconds, the throughput graph showing operations per second, and finally the average latency graph measured in microseconds. A general trend noticed across all the three is a decreased performance with an increase in number of nodes, due to an uncompensated overhead due to parallelization, and also increased latency due to intra-cluster communication. Thank you. We are done with the slide deck. Any questions, please?
Yeah. Any questions?
I have a question.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So why do you just confine yourself to 2 node or 3 node or 4 node? Why not higher levels like 10 node or 20 node or 100 node?
Sir, actually we had tried doing this for both a large number of records and a large number of nodes. So when we increase the number of records, we face the load time issue as we had mentioned. And when we increase the number of nodes, since each is a container, given our hardware constraints, it became hard to support so many containers on our individual system.
But I thought cloud is always available and cloud computing is the panacea for all this resource constraints, isn't it?
Yes, so that's something we are trying to do. That's the next step, generating more data and consequently more insights.
Okay. Because IAWS has student discounted as free student accounts for one to play around with. So
yes, sir. These results were
AWS, I
obtained.
think the other cloud offerings have that.
Yes, sir. We used AWS accounts, student accounts, to generate these results.
Oh, okay.
Even then, we limited.
Despite having access to the AWS cloud, we still face this issue. So that is definitely something we should look into.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Mohan. And so we'll move on to the. Thank you, Aditi and Mugdha. And
thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
So we'll move on to the next paper. It is from LJ Institute of Engineering and Technology, Ahmedabad, Gujarat. We have Mohit Vora, Rudra, and Jenish and Dhrubil. Mohit Vora, Rudra, Jenish, Dhrubil. Hey, Mohit. Go ahead and present it, Mohit. You need anyone else?
Hello, sir, Rudra.
Rudra, okay.
Yeah, Rudra is on stage.
Yeah. Your time starts now. Please go ahead.
Good evening, everybody. I am Rudra Bhavsar, and today I am going to present my project named Stingray Security System on behalf of my teammates Mohit Vora, Dhrubil Prajapati, and Janice Vekaria. Today, in this presentation, we would understand what is Stingray system, how it works, ethical dilemma faced due to this system, and solution and ethical ethical way of working with this system, and why do we need this solution, this system right now. Now, what is Stingray system? Stingray is an AI-based surveillance system used for keeping record of an individual personal identity, which include face recognition, cell phone number, IEMI number, ISMI number, GSM activation key of the cell phone, respectively. Now, how do this system work? For example, if this system is been installed in the mod, our system with the concept of image processing and supervised and unsupervised concept of machine learning will try to detect whether the object is person, animal, living thing, or any other object. If the object is identified as person, our system will act as a fake tower of high frequency and perform man-in-the-middle attack. In this process, our system will act between the cell phone, that is the mobile station, and the tower, that is the base transceiver station, and receive all the radio signal from the cell phone. Now, our system, with the help of cryptographic algorithms and other programming module, try to decrypt the signal and extract the desired information such as IEMI number or IMSI number. This system can only be used by the government due to ethical reason or under the jurisdiction of the government. This is the basic diagram of how our system works. Now, as we saw that our system cross the ethical and personal boundary of an individual. If the information or the GSM activation key is being said to some bad person, then it can cause serious problem to that person. Because nowadays, all the information such as banking details and many other legal documents are being linked to the mobile number, which can later be misused. Now, as every problem has a solution, we have come with a solution so that this system can also be used in the private sector. By this new concept, can still keep the surveillance of the area without crossing the ethics and the individual privacy boundary. With this new concept, the physical setup of the system will still remain the same. There will be only few changes, that is the modification of the program algorithm by limiting its capability with the partnership of network providers under the jurisdiction of government. By this process, our system will try to assign a temporary serial number, that is the address key, to the cell phone if the cell phone is in the region of our Stingray system. Now, let us understand the solution in a technical way. Before understanding the technical form, let us understand the GSM architecture or how a mobile network works. The mobile station or our cell phone try to reach the nearest and the strongest tower, that is the base transceiver system. From base transceiver system to the radio signal through ABS interface is been sent to BSC, that is the base station controller. For now, BSC is not relevant to our topic. From BSC, the information is been sent to HLR. From HLR, our main information such as IEMI number, GSM activation key, other personal detail, and live location is been stored in a subcategory such as HLR, VLR, and AUC. HLR is the home location register. Home register is the main place where our main data has been stored. Every city and metropolitan city has one MSC. When we travel from one HLR from our city to another city, the HLR will send our information to the VLR, which is the visited location register. The VLR has access to our information till we are in the range of that VLR. Using this concept, our system creates LSMI code, that is the local mobile station identity. So when the person is in the region of our system will create LSMI and try to override the LSMI over the address key, that is the IEMI number or ISMI number. Then at the same time, our system will send this LSMI number to the HLR. In HLR, our LSMI number is being stored in its database with date and time correspond to its respective IEMI number of the suspect. And at the same time, our system will also store the LSMI number with date and time correspond to the facial ID of the suspect. When the person exits the range of our system, the LSMI on his cell phone got deleted by itself. And in the future, if we want to access the personal ID of the person, we can extract LSMI number from our database from corresponding to the facial ID and send it to the HLR, which would be stored in its database. And by that, we can access data from the mobile network operator in an ethical way. Now, why do we need this system? As per year 2019, the occupancy rate of jail are 75% higher than the actual capacity. This number and percentage are enough to tell that the crime rate in India is very high. Superpower United States also use this system since 1995, but they use the system in the method which we call unethical and is generally used by the government, and they do not use facial recognition. But by our solution, we can use this system in the private sector also. This is just the graphical information of the crime rate that are increasing in our India. These are the references that we have gone through before creating this presentation. Thank you. Now I'm open for the questions.
Thank you. Any questions? Rudra, we are not seeing the results, right? This is the idea is good. And what exactly been implemented and what was the outcome? It is not clear in your presentation.
Actually, right now we are working on it. Actually, the model is not complete. Till now, we had only reached to the image processing part because this system is highly supervised and security threatening system. So we need supervisor permission and guidance of supervisor before creating this type of system. So this is just the concept and we are working on it right now.
Okay, you did any analysis on image processing?
Yeah, we created one program in Python CV using NumPy library and other library. The program is being created by my teammate Mohit Vora, and we have its accuracy rate is 99.86%. It's not that advanced, but we can fetch our result by that code that the person is that the object is person or non-living thing, and we can identify the person.
Okay. Any questions, Dr. Mohan? Okay. Are you able to hear me? Yes, Mohan.
Actually, the input data is at the start of the system. We have CCTV camera. In the mall, if it is installed, the CCTV camera will scan the whole location. And if we have suspect on some object or that is the person, okay, then the CCTV camera will, with the help of processing, will try to track the facial expression and record the facial ID in our database. And correspond to the facial ID, the LSMI, that is the temporary key, is being stored corresponding to the facial ID.
So when you said you got 99.86% accuracy, what are you referring to?
Actually, we used to randomly used to present different thing in front of camera. Like sometimes we used to see photo of dog. Actually, we have not present live picture, live peoples. We generally used to present the photos of the animals, object, or person. If the photo is of human, then it will return true. If the photo was of animal or non-living thing, then it will return that the photo is of non-living thing and it is not human, or the photo is of non-living thing or animal, it will return according to the photo.
And what is the volume of this data set?
Actually, we are working on this program since last month, so we have very few volume. Only 200 to 300 photo we have scanned through the program, and it has gone nice result. We have got nice result through it.
Very good.
Thank you.
Thought with you. Good.
Sorry, sir. Sorry, I am not able to hear you.
Are you able to hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
All right. Just wanting to share that your project is a good start, but there's so much more. Okay. I would like to suggest you that you should go do Google Images and find out all the images of monkeys and apes and whatnot.
Yeah, sure. We will go through
it. Then claim the number that you claimed. If that happens, then I think it will be really good. Okay?
Okay, sir. I'll be in touch with you.
Okay.
If the output is good.
All right, no problem.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for that opportunity.
Yeah. So moving on to the last paper of the day for Student Project Showcase. It is from Dhruva, Nikhil, and Rakshit, and K. Vikas Gowda, and Usha Devi, PES University. Dhruva, Nikhil.
Hello, sir. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yes, sir. We'll start our presentation. If you give us a moment. Sir, I believe our two teammates have not been accepted. Vikas and Rakshit.
Yeah, I'm bringing them.
Yeah, go ahead. They will join.
All right. Hello, everyone. Thank you for inviting us to present our project. I'm Dhruva. My friends Nikhil, Rakshit, and Vikas are going to present our project on cloud-based evaluation policies. Our university has been conducting final year project evaluations for many years through lots of paperwork. This was becoming tedious as the number of students were increasing, and especially due to the COVID-19 pandemic, it became very clear that an alternative was necessary. At the Center for Cloud Computing and Big Data at PS University, we were tasked to develop a cloud-based web application for our university to enable online evaluation of projects. Talking about our problem statement, for final year projects, there would be 5 reviews, each 2 to 3 weeks apart. Students would come under a guide and report to a panel with their progress at these reviews. Each panel consisted of 4 to 5 faculty members with a coordinator to manage the schedules of the reviews. Students would need to be able to view public comments posted during their reviews. An administrator would have to collect all student information and create panels accordingly. At the end of the evaluations, the administrator would need to generate a detailed summary report of each student's performance.
Now, some of the challenges we faced while building our web app were students switching teams before conduction of evaluations, guides switching between panels, as well as faculties resigning midway of evaluations. During a faculty's absence, another faculty must be able to take over the role temporarily. More importantly, at the end of evaluation term, the data must be preserved safely with no interference from future evaluation processes.
Here's a list of all the technologies that we have used. We began by building a REST API. The reason was to develop a backend which would be decoupled with the front end. A generic CRUD interface that is create, read, update, and delete was developed to communicate with either standalone application or a web application designed separately. Django REST framework was chosen to build API as the framework, which encouraged rapid development and contained inbuilt security plugins. PostgreSQL was used as the DBMS for the application.
To utilize the principles of microservice architectures, the web application was divided into 3 containers. A Postgres container, which would contain the database, an Nginx server to handle network traffic and perform load balancing, and a Bunicon Django REST API container to process requests. Each container acts as a standalone unit of software and can be ported to different environments without having to worry about dependencies. These containers were then deployed on an AWS EC2 instance.
Now, coming to the security aspects, to ensure security, the Dockerized web application makes use of a secure tokenization method to authenticate users. A combination of JSON web token and Django session store is used for authentication of users. Cross-site scripting attacks are handled by Django Bleach to prevent malicious attacks. Django ORM features prevent SQL injection by converting the relational data into Python objects.
We will now give you a live demonstration of our web application, which is running on a Docker container locally. So I will now log in as an admin. We have preloaded some data to make it easy for us to demonstrate. So these are the faculties that have been added, 4 faculties. This will be usually added by the administrator of the university. Panels have already been created. 1 panel for cloud computing containing professors John Smith, Rajesh Bachchan, and Amitabh Puri, and the students as well. There is a student portal which students can access, and passwords are generated by the administrator for these students.
Now we'll be logging in as a coordinator of a panel. In this case, there's a faculty Rajesh with PS1 ID, and he's logging in as a coordinator. He's presented with the panel he's a part of, which is cloud computing. As you can see, there are 5 reviews which we can schedule accordingly. Currently, this review 1 is open and indicated by green, and amber represents the reviews which are going to be open soon, and red reviews indicate the reviews which are closed. There is also a mailing feature which we have included so that the coordinator can mail to all his faculties about the schedule, also with a custom message. This panel indicates all the team members present in the panel, wherein the coordinator can assign faculties for so that they can review the faculties. In this case, for the review 1, a coordinator has assigned a faculty John Smith and Rajesh Bachchan. Now we'll be logging in as a student with ID 2001. As you can see, he can upload his profile image through this interface. He can also change his team description. We had already filled a review by Rajesh Bachchan faculty, and it's been shown to him.
We'll now log in as an evaluator. This is Professor Rajesh Bachchan. As you can see, the panel that he is present in is shown, and all the reviews that he is supposed to conduct are also shown. Review 1 is currently open, and he has the 2 teams that he is supposed to evaluate. We'll just evaluate this one student, Aditi. As you can see, the images have been loaded. I will quickly load some information here. We've made sure that even, for example, if somebody misses their review, it can be made in such a way that that person is not evaluated. They can be marked as evaluated and can be saved. It is also possible to print out these forms and stored as paperwork. We will now show you Aditi's page, where she can see that her marks have been evaluated. Here you can see that Rajesh Bachchan has said his comments from Professor Rajesh Bachchan has been shown. Now when we log in as the administrator, from the marks view, we can see that we can get a detailed report of each student. For example, if I choose Aditi, review 1 is open for her. All the professors have not yet evaluated her, but we can see that one professor has evaluated her. A detailed summary can also be generated and downloaded as a CSV file. In most of the places where there is requirement for bulk upload of any kind, there is the option for uploading the file as CSVs, and the format of these CSVs are also given.
Okay.
One moment, sir.
Talking about the future work, a web application need not be limited to project evaluations alone. It could also include assignment evaluations. And due to COVID-19 pandemic situation, students are stranded at home and are deprived of interaction with teachers. Inclusion of live video conferencing will enable them to demo their projects from home and provide a one-stop platform for students to access all the relevant resources. Since the evaluation policies keep changing, we can also include dynamic templates, which would enable administrators to add relevant fields to the reviews.
Thank you, sir. We're open for any questions.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. So I remember this one being presented in the pre-conference workshop, right? Is there any improvement you brought in from pre-conference workshop to today?
No, sir. This was not presented at the pre-conference workshop.
Not presented. Okay. Maybe similar.
I have a couple of quick questions. So very nice work. Quickly, what kind of open source software stack did you use, or was it a proprietary one, or how is that?
Sir, so we have used Django for Python Django for building the REST API, and PostgreSQL is the database we are using. Both of these are open source technologies, as well as Docker to create our containers, which is also an open source technology.
So we have also used some extensions for taking care of attacks such as SQL injection as well as cross-site scripting. These are extensions which are open source and can be added to Django.
Okay, so quickly, so students are always mischievous and they would like to crack into the system and get a better evaluation than what the professor would give.
Yes,
What
sir.
measures have you taken to ensure that your
Yes, sir.
guide
This was a very important
for the students?
So, for coming to the security aspects, we have taken it through. We have taken quite a few important steps. There's for the REST API, it's done through a tokenization method called JWT. Currently, the access token is the actual token which is necessary for accessing any information by a faculty. And so, as it's very crucial to maintain this safely, we have just kept the validity limit of this token for 10 minutes, and this is stored in the user as a cookie in the user's browser. This cookie keeps getting refreshed with the help of a refresh token, and this refresh token is stored in the side in the backend of our database and is accessed through a Django session cookies. So this is extremely secure. As even if a person gets the ability to get the access of the token, its validity is just for 10 minutes, and after that it's expired.
So 5 minutes is enough to flip some marks.
Yes, but in this case, the student would have to have access to the professor's machine, which I mean, we've made sure that sessions expire after 2 days. So in case a professor leaves his machine in the university, the session is only available for 1 week, and he's automatically logged out of the session after a day. Also, we've handled various types of attacks like SQL injection attacks, cross-site scripting. For SQL injection attacks, because we're using Django, the Django's ORM model makes sure that such attacks are not possible.
Okay.
Our API was initially we built the API making sure that taking a lot of precautions like this for this reason.
Two-factor authentication or something like that?
Excuse me, sir?
Two-factor authentication?
Sir, it's a future work, sir. So we planned on doing this. We were not able to obtain the necessary data for connecting it to Google, sir. We've set up all the necessary. For example, also HTTPS. That is also something we have ready, but we were not able to obtain a HTTPS certificate for our AWS machine that's running. So we were not able to do it, but it's definitely integratable.
This application will finally be integrated with our college server, and after a little bit of fine tuning, and in those circumstances, we'll be able to apply HTTPS and all that.
Wonderful.
Okay.
Good work.
Thanks.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. And with that, we are concluding the student project showcase. And you saw the quality of the papers presented from across India as well as overseas from Japan. Thank you very much, everyone. It is for extending for another 30 minutes and staying with us and encouraging everyone, the students and the CCM team. Thank you very much. Mohan, anything else? Like we have another 2 days the event. I request all the students to continue to leverage all the tutorials and keynote speeches, as well as on 7th evening, we are going to pick best of 2 student project showcase and announce the winners. Please continue to join us, and it will be a great learning journey for all of you. Thank you.
Yeah, I just want to share that on 7th morning, there's something called Techno-Biz Plan Showcase.
Yes.
Where students get to wrap a business plan, or technologically oriented business plan, not a full-fledged business plan, around the project that they are working on, so that it makes them better engineers who can operate with a very good business sense. So I would invite you all to join then on Saturday morning. Okay.
And the second half also, Mohanji, so that they can look forward for winners.
Yeah, winners will be there in the evening. So first thing that we need to do is, especially Sridhar should do, is apologies for this delay, half hour overshooting the deadline. I think it's worth it. and see you all tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
I'll now end the session.
Yes, please. Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you all.